This is Nigel Farage or Nigel Farage. He is the guy that caused Brexit to happen. If you don't know who he is, if you're not from the UK, if you're from the UK, you know who he is because he is on the TV every single day, and from left to right, everyone just for some reason loved putting him on the TV, and he was there to spew his nonsense about the European Union, lie a load of things, and then people fell for it, and we ended up leaving the European Union. Now we're fucked. But anyway, he's probably the most influential politician in British politics of my lifetime. Though technically I was alive when Margaret Thatcher was still in power, but like I'm not counting that. Actually, was I? Maybe. But anyway, he is in recent times he is the most influential politician. He's never been voted into like power. He's never led a major political party he's never been prime minister or in the cabinet or anything like that. But he was a single issue, let's leave European Union, and that happened largely because of his political pressure, or at least partly because of his political pressure and his movement and the money he's got and stuff. But now since Brexit, has been in charge of various political parties. He's rebranded multiple times, and currently he is in charge of Reform UK. Reform UK are like our far-right party. They are further right than the Conservatives are already far right. Like Labour are becoming far right, but the true far right party, they're like trying to match the Republicans in the US kind of position. And anyway, here he is, and he is saying Mandy Clare is a former Labour councillor who left the party to campaign against transgender ideology. She has now joined Reform. And I just thought it would be funny to cover this person. So this, like, idiot seems like someone who has no idea what they believe and who just changes with the wind and who has got suckered into this anti-trans stuff and has lost their mind. So this isn't quite true. I mean, it's true enough. She did used to be a Labour councillor, and now she doesn't like trans people, and she's now part of Reform. True, but she actually. So here is her with Posey Parker or Kelly Jakeen Minshall or whatever her name is, who's the lady who got soup poured over her for trying to do a hate movement in New Zealand. And she's also the lady who had the Sig-hailing Nazis show up to support her in Australia, and also the one who had all the weird anti-vax conspiracy theorists in London. Garbage person. You can look her up. There's a really good video on her by Sean on YouTube, if you check out his video. Anyway, this councillor, Mandy Clare, she was a Labour councillor, and then she quit Labour, and then she was re-elected to represent her area as the sort of the Earth Party in whatever election. So that's like some other party. I think it's like a left-wing party, and then she left them to join Party of Women, which was Kelly Jakeen's political party. Kelly Jakeen herself ran in Bristol, which is near where I live, and she got so few votes that she didn't even get you have to pay like a deposit to run, and she didn't even get that back. She got like basically no votes. They got no politicians. They got one councillor, who was Mandy Clare. I don't quite know the order of things. I don't know if she was voted in when she was Party of Women, or she was voted in when she was sort of the Earth, and then changed to Party of Women. Anyway, she was independent for a while, but now she has left Party of Women. Their only councillor, she quit. Wait. She would no longer be representing the Party of Women, and then she quit to become independent. So here's since being elected in 1929, she has represented Labour, socialist Labour and the Winsford Salt of the Earth before joining Party of Women, and now then she was independent, and now she's part of Reform. So she's gone through like 5 parties in 5 years, from like centre left to far left to conspiracy right to like far right, in like done, and now she's like standing for being a far right politician with Nigel Farage shaking his hand here. And it's funny. It's funny for a few reasons. It's funny that the only Party of Women councillor quit. So now they have absolutely nothing. So another L for Posy Parker. She just cannot stop losing. I haven't heard much from her recently, actually. She's like washed up, I guess. Yeah, so the Party of Women, like, just in case you think Party of Women is some kind of feminist party, the party's website states that it was founded to safely say that no woman has a penis, no man has a vagina, and there's no such thing as non-binary, and that transitioning children is abuse. It was a single-issue anti-trans hate movement party, basically. So that's funny that party's just totally collapsed and nothing happened of it, and she's really failed really hard. It's also funny that she keeps jumping ship and doesn't seem to believe in anything, apart from hating trans people. It's funny that Nigel Farage announced, I mean, he's quite good at his, like, summon his, like, generic smile to be with whatever. But all of the comments are like, well, some of the comments are angry about it. Like, Labour and Liberals joining Reform. It amazes me the number of supporters. You don't see what the obvious sell out by Farage. Like, all these are Twitter, so you know, it's a load of far right knobheads, but like, there's a lot of people angry that she was allowed in. You don't support mass deportation, so no point in voting for you. They're all angry that she's like a communist because she was part of like a far left party. Doesn't seem like she believes in anything. But also, it's just interesting to see that, like, she was part of Labour. I mean, presumably someone like this is just wacky their whole lives and doesn't really stand for anything and jump ships all the time. But at least one point, the people in Labour thought she was credible enough to be a Labour councillor. Labour had some level of credibility 5 years ago. And then she seemed to lose her mind to transphobic conspiracy theories and is now part of Reform, who are like the anti-trans party. And it's just like, this keeps happening. We've been saying for years, because it's true, that the anti-trans movement radicalises people to the far right. It melts their brains, they're unable to rationally think anymore, and then they join the far right. And here is an example of someone who's literally gone from supporting centre-left, like, 5 years ago, Labour at least were pretending to be centre-left, and to support LGBT rights and women. And then she, like so many other people, have eaten a load of transphobic conspiracy theories, melted their brain to the point where they can't think anymore, and they've just gone to supporting the far right party. And this has happened time and time again. It's like, people like J.K. Rowling are the top of the pipeline for, well, not the top, the middle of the pipeline for funneling people into the far right. And this is an example of it. And this is not the only example of it, but it is the only example of a Party of Women councillor doing this, because they only ever had one councillor, and now they have none. So, quite funny, but very predictable. I think that maybe to centrists or people with some concerns in 2016 or whatever, if you said the gender critical movement is radicalizing people to the far right, they were all like, oh no, that's ridiculous. You can't call someone far right just because but here we have it, and just like plain as day, it's happening now. Like, it's always been happening, but now it's just like it's so overt that we were right all along. What a surprise.